Hey guys, welcome to the garden. I have had a couple of people ask me about my new garden gates, and so I wanted to quickly, or attempt to quickly, talk about those and tell you how we built them. So I did not film when we built them. The day we built them, we just kind of wanted to get them built, and it wasn't necessarily the best thing to be filming. So I do know how we did it. I mean, obviously we built them, but I wanted to kind of talk you through how we built these gates. So there's two gates in my garden. So this gate here is a single gate, and it is 2 feet wide by 4 feet tall. And then we have it sunk in the ground, attached to some 2x4s. So the 2x4s are, I think, 5 feet long. We have them in the ground about a foot. We did sink them in the ground and set them with some Quikrete concrete, so they are nice and secure in the ground. The gates themselves are built with 1x4x4s. Those are the boards I bought. I bought the cheap boards they sell at Menards. They're like the ones that aren't necessarily like nice enough to be considered quality pine boards. So they were relatively cheap. They were, I couldn't tell you how much they were, but they were pretty cheap. They were cheaper than like buying like the higher quality pine boards. So I did seal everything with some outdoor polyurethane, just to kind of prolong the life of the gates, since they're gonna be out in the elements like 365 days a year. So I did 3 coats of that on both the gates, and they are attached with just some gate hinges, just some smaller gate hinges that I also got at Menards. The boards we used were all 4 feet long, so we did cut some down to make the top and the bottom. So now what we did was we did 2 separate gates, but they're all three gate panels are built the same. So I'm gonna actually take you over to the other gate and show you how we built them, because I'm sitting in the grass and there are so many bugs around me right now that it is ridiculous. So we're gonna go over there. So the gates are built with 1x4s. They were 4 feet long when we bought them, and we cut them down. These 2 top and bottom boards are 2 feet wide. These side boards are 3 feet wide. They attach to the front, and we have them secured with wood screws. So basically what I did was we made the frames. I attached my rabbit fencing in here, and then we added the back support brace to the back to help hold the rabbit fencing in and help keep the gate more sturdy. We did connect them to the posts with just regular fencing hinges, and we used a couple different latches. We used one type here and one type on the other gate as well. So on this entrance gate, because it is a double gate, we did a latch like this, one of these, and I really like this a lot. I usually just use one of the gates. I usually just open this one up and come in like this, but my grandpa actually bent me this little metal rod here that we have threaded through the fencing and into the ground. So this helps keep this side of the gate secure, so I can just pull it and close the gates. Now, I also, on these gate panels, I put some silicone caulking around all of the contact points on them. That is just to keep moisture out from in between the boards, because obviously you don't want moisture sitting in your gate panels in between the boards, because that's how they will expand, and that's how you'll end up with a gate that does not last very long. So I did not necessarily use, no, I did not use pressure treated boards. I just used the cheap boards, but I did seal them, and they are perfectly fine for like a garden gate. I do use rabbit fencing in my garden, and the fencing that I have this year is 3 foot 4 inches tall, and I have it in the ground with 4 foot T-posts. Now, when I say it's a 4 foot T-post, that usually means about 8 to 10 inches of it is going to be in the ground. So this fencing does stick up a little bit over the T-posts, but that's fine. It's not sticking up too much where it's wobbling back and forth. So that's how I like to do my fencing. I like to use T-posts because they're easy to put in, they're easy to take out if I want to move it, and they're easy to attach fencing to. I attach all my fencing to my T-posts with zip ties. They're cheap, and you can use a lot of them on a T-post and you don't feel like you're wasting your money. I get my zip ties at Harbor Freight. I get the black ones. They seem to be pretty UV resistant. I've never had a problem with them. I did attach my fence over here to my privacy fence. So when we bought this house, it had a privacy fence, and I knew I wanted to put the garden back here, and when the time came, all I did was I used fencing staples and attached the fencing onto the posts, 2 of the posts on the privacy fence. Now, obviously, I put holes in my privacy fence post. If you are in a situation where you are renting or you don't want to put holes in your fence posts, then that's probably not the best solution. But for me, I knew that this garden was not going to go anywhere, and it was going to be here as long as we live here. So I felt good about attaching my fence to the privacy fence. So it goes all the way around. I am basically using the privacy fence as part of my fencing, which cut down on the amount of rabbit fencing I did have to buy. I bought all my supplies for the fencing and the gates at Menards. I know you can get this stuff at any hardware store. I basically I bought boards for the gates, I bought the hinges, the latches, screws, bag of concrete, and 2 rolls of fencing, T-posts, and there we go. So I know that this is probably not super helpful, but I have a drawing of the gates, and I will try and put that in and kind of tell you more about how we built them. So this is the illustration of the gate panel. This is the single panel gate. If you want to do a double panel gate, you would essentially just double this and move that one of the 2x4s over. The materials list is on the right. That's everything you need for one gate panel. So if you are doing more than one, like I have 2 in the front of the garden, you would need to double the 1x4s. All of these things are readily available at any hardware store that also sells lumber. If you are doing double gates, you would need 2 sets of hinges. But otherwise, this is a super simple way to build a gate. And as I'm editing here, I realized I did not sign off, so I hope this was helpful. I hope it gives you a little insight on how we built our gates and our fencing for the garden. As always, if you have any other questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.